Hey friends, day 2 of our journaling practice. When I show you the chart, you're going to notice that there's not a whole bunch of change. We're going to walk through that little bit of change. However, the reason we're doing this is so that we can close off the 2022 year and allow for that, that natural cycle to move into a new and more enhanced experience. So instead of trying to force ourselves into a new experience, it is really the question is, how are we going to experience new experiences this year? What is the emotional intelligence that we are going to bring to every one of our interactions that we have with human beings, with the neutrino ocean, with animals, with our coworkers, in our relationships? What is that, enhanced, more intelligent way that we are going to show up for these experiences so that we can actually learn the wisdom that is available to us? So the 4130, I think it is probably one of the most magical channels or strengths in the human design body graph. And I say that because it begins everything. It is asking, and actually a little bit kind of forcing us to contract down into our own way of being. Instead of allowing for the shadows, the torture of the conditioned mind to dictate how we show up, the 41 is asking us to let go of all those preconceived notions, let go of all the expectations, but anticipate a better way of showing up this year. Anticipate a more emotionally intelligent aspect of you showing up. So some of you might go, but Leann, I don't have the solar plex defined. So what does that mean for me? Some of you might go, but I am emotionally defined. So I have no way of knowing what my moods or my emotions are going to be. And I would call bullshit on that for sure, because I have lots of emotional people around me. And as they deepen into their experience and experiment, they're no longer caught up in, let's just call it, the distorted highs and the distorted lows of their emotional wave. There's a different intelligence there. And we all have a nervous system. We all have a set of lungs, hopefully we do. We all have kidneys, hopefully you do as well. We all have skin, hopefully you do as well. And these are all aspects, stomach, anything that filters besides the liver, because the liver's in the G center, but the intelligence of that solar plexus runs throughout our entire body, And when we understand our nervous system, when we can understand that the nervous system is really our data processor, it processes touch, it processes smell, it processes sight, it processes taste, it processes hearing. It processes all of this information, and it takes those electrical and magnetic information pieces that the neutrino ocean is providing to us, and it runs it through its gamut, takes it up to the brain so that the brain can now sort, sift, measure, and then look at life through our perspective. Now, we're doing this without even knowing that we're doing this. But if the nervous system is under a huge amount of pressure. That's why in human design is called the pressure sandwich. We're actually not designed to be under pressure. We're designed to take the information and the fuel that is there and trust our strategy and authority to move it through. So the nervous system itself, once we allow it to actually process what it needs to process and not try to interfere, that is what the not self or the conditioned mind tries to do. It tries to interfere. It tries to stop feeling this, stop feeling that. Feel your feels, people. Feel your feels. Get a good sense of the feels. Doesn't matter whether you're defined or undefined. Understand the difference between your nervous system and somebody else's nervous system, because you might be trying to process their information, which is absolutely pointless. But that's what the 41 is doing for us. Okay, it is taking us into this deeper aspect of leaning into the nervous system, becoming more emotionally intelligent. And through that emotional intelligence, what we learn is our spirit. And of course, what I absolutely love, family and friends sits in the emotional center, the gate 37. Not that it's a part of today's information. However, I'm throwing it in there. We can't avoid family and friends. Well, we can. Go ahead, try it. But what's going to happen is your not self is it's going to gnaw and chew on all of that. So lean into your own music, your own frequency. The space between the notes where that nervous system allows you the intelligence of the right next step. And that right next step then builds up this anticipation. Are there going to be bumps in the road? Probably. The 36 this year, the beginning of our calendar year or the closing of our cyclical year. It's there to say, there's going to be moments of challenge, that we're going to feel these things of, I'm nervous because I don't know what the future holds. Thank God we don't know what the future holds. No matter how many times mystics or seers like Ra, try to predict the future, are there times that they definitely can't? For sure. However, I would say this: if the whole entire population of our Earth plane chose to be more intelligent in our emotionality, I don't think that any of the predictions would be truthful, would come to fruition. Because I think as a collective, that's what the 4130 is. There is great power in the capacity for us to lean into a different fantasy and a different imagination through there. Okay, so that's my little rant today. So what I'm hoping is that as you're walking through this, I'm going to just share my screen. As you're walking through this with me over the course of the next 21 days, that you are able to just settle in to being comfortable in your own skin. When we're comfortable in our own skin, the torture and torment of the conditioned mind no longer is forcing your physical body into doing things that is not correct for them. Okay. So you can, if you'd like to, walk through each one of these, go to the planet, the nuance of the planet. Okay. And really lean in. The nodes are interesting because there's like this, trajectory that we are all on for like between 4 to 6 months every year. It hones us into this trajectory as humanity. And we can notice that the moon, of course, the moon is so interesting because it's a driving force, but yeah, I gotta say it, the moon flies around so quick, right? It's moving, in that sky clock so swiftly that when we get so highly conditioned, I think that there's a big correlation here with distraction. And I don't want to say the word ADD, ADHD. I'm not a professional at that by any means, way or shape. However, distraction is a part of that. And I don't like to label things either, because I think if we label it, then we put it into our cellular structure and we hold on to it, and then we try to make it mean something. But when the moon is shifting so quickly on our sky clock, and if we're caught in the cycle of it, which we're all in the cycle of it, don't get me wrong, but if we're trying to figure it out versus just allowing for the wisdom to be there, then this can be a real distracting driving force, okay? Because that's what the moon does. It's our driving force in our charts, on the personality side. But we can walk through each one of these and look at, communication, truth, that inner knowing. We have seen this, we're watching this, where there's so much more information around, quote unquote, the occult and the secret societies, and all of that information is now available to every human being if you just go onto the internet. And all of it is teaching that once we clean up our thinking, once we clean up how we think, there's an inner truth there that no secret society can keep away from us. However, what happened is they put televisions in everybody's houses. They made us believe that we needed to trade time for money. They forced us into a belief system that, we need to go out, get a job, have the house, have the car, have the family, have this, have that, have that. There's this conformity there. And they took away our thought, our capacity to be creative, because the individual circuitry is so deeply creative. Because in those moments where there is space between the notes and we can lean into the melancholy, there's so much information in the nothing. It's all in the nothing. So where are you leaning into the truth of your thought pattern? That's, and how are you communicating your own truth? So here's also what I want to say. Okay. Your own truth actually is true for you. The truth is static, doesn't change. Just like the sky clock, it has been there for however long humanity has documented it. The exact same sky clock has moved around the flat earth plane. And the other truth is there's principles and universal laws. Those are truth. So that's why I'm taking you can go deeper into the planetary understanding of all this information as well, and see what does the neutrino ocean, what does it want me to know? You can ask yourself that. What does the neutrino ocean really want me to know today? What is the wisdom I am being endowed with so that I can move forward into a different experience? Ask that question. That's what the thinker does. The thinker asks really good questions so that you then can be provided with this undistorted answer for yourself. And it's just your answer. It's not anybody else's answer. So again, we're quite pressurized. And what we'll notice is that the moon is really what has shifted. And there'll be moments today where we're able to, we're going to be supported in our assimilation. And of course, that's going to shift. That's going to shift here shortly, actually, into the 8th gate. And that 8th gate is around the contribution. So again, take the information, look at the nuances of the planet, and just ask those high-level questions, because that's what thinkers do. And what is it that you are noticing? Can you be more comfortable in your skin? Do you feel like you still want to chase an external realization? Or is there this moment where you feel really comfortable in the frequency that resides in your own skin? All right, friends, have fun, January 2nd. All right.